What's up, party people? We're back.
Oh, I didn't even make it on. Damn it, that was so good.
Oh, I got all of that.
Oh, you did? Okay, good.
Just giving myself a timestamp.
Alrighty, so we pick up right as Sapphire having spoken with you all for probably close to like an hour and a half, kind of like real time. Has taken her leave to check up on your quarry.
Yeah.
To check up on your dagger. Both equally important pieces.
Yes.
And has given you all time to kind of sit with the conversation you just had in this twilight hour as you took a long rest during the day after coming out from the temple. And as it was very, very smoky on your way to this outskirts place, but the farther out of the grove you got, you noticed that the ash is not as strong, or not as thick on the ground. You're getting into more just barren landscape instead of charcoal underfoot, almost.
I'd like to, grab some of the ash.
Yeah.
And just touch up my smoky eye.
Yeah.
Mrs. Q?
Would you do me?
Sure. Elle, would you like to get in on this?
Poor word.
She just kind of wrinkles her nose. She's got too much to think about right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just, yeah.
Make a performance check.
Let's see. Performance, with disadvantage, it's a 16.
16?
Jeez.
I'm looking good.
Even
right?
tired,
yeah.
It's on point.
Yeah.
Nice.
The wings are winging.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I recognize that I am old enough that I'm the sort of person where if I wore lipstick, the wrinkles are so big that it's running up my wrinkles. So it's only as good as you look so disgusting. Have you not seen this?
How you
This is where
describe
old
it.
ladies wear lip liner before they put on lipstick to create a hydrophobic barrier.
I've never looked into that, but good to know.
Is Mrs. Q canonically very wrinkly? Because I've never thought about her that way.
Oh, I always imagined I was very wrinkly.
You're just spiky.
What? No, I'm more than just my spikes.
I'm more than just my spikes. Sorry, that's really cute.
Wait, those are spikes? I thought those were all needles.
For all of my knitting needles.
All of your knitting.
I'm not just wearing them.
That is up there with 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Yeah.
Oh.
In actuality, she lost all of her spikes over the 200
Oh,
years.
these are my denture spikes. Denture spikes.
Well, Elle, if there's if you didn't want to smoke yet, is there anything that I could do? I could do your feathers. I could do I don't know, touch up your beak, claws. I got a whole mani pedicure in the other campaign. I can't do it in this one.
Oh no.
Are we in a rush?
I'm doing this while we're walking. It's not a stop and.
Okay. It's just like Mage Hand doing it.
Ooh, that would be a fun way to use Mage Hand.
What's the plan, folks?
I guess is the direction that Sapphire pointed the same direction as this dang dagger?
Well, I've asked Sapphire to look for it, so...
Okay, so we can comfortably move in the direction that she
Well-
pointed.
I'm gonna cast sending.
You're gonna cast sending?
Okay.
Hey, Safi. If you can find the dagger, can you bring it to us?
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Sure.
All right, let's go. Best spell slot.
Basil would be curious to...
Gotta put that down now.
as they're walking, ask Astra... Because the whole time she was quiet. And her desire is really to save the grove. So all this stuff with Nari is kind of now deviating from our main quest. So he'd be curious to know what are your thoughts, or how do you feel? Are you okay with us taking this quest on, interrupting our main quest?
That's an interesting question, Basil. She was the stuff of legend, and she's real. Which makes this incredibly important if she's telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And Astra kind of looks out towards the grove as you're all kind of like walking in a general direction, which we'll get to in a second. But this is also real, and this is what I have to protect, because this is what is here, growing, destroying. I might have to insist that if you choose to go this way, then the Borealis stays with us so we can deal with the grove. It's meant to stop the grove. Okart gave it to you to stop the grove. It belongs here.
Sapphire said nothing about us needing the Borealis to deal with Nari, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's meant to put out fires.
But we don't know how.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, didn't that last thing just say it was like a tool for the children of the gods? Sorry, Sapphire, not thing. Your friend.
Lord and loving patron.
Patron?
That was out of character.
Sir Basil will say to Astra, I understand your hurt. I understand the pain you feel with the grove. But if what Sapphire said is true, then there is a greater evil. Can we just ignore it to face the grove? To fight the greater evil, is that not what we should do?
And if you die fighting this greater evil and lose the Borealis, which is, as I remind you, a thing of legend that is apparently the only thing strong enough to weaken an aspect of fire, to kill it or seal it away or get rid of it. What if you die and we lose that, and then this wood is doomed?
Can I add to Astra's point too? How did Nari become the greater evil if she's also trying to get rid of this fire demon?
I think she's going about the resolution of the fire the wrong way, by hurting people and draining them of their essence, their life.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to tell me that, but she went crazy because of this thing. I think this thing is the worst thing,
Worse
right? Like, if she can't handle this, then doesn't that make it greater?
Some sound logic, Apoc. I don't
Listen,
think
I
it's-
want to kill that bitch as much as anybody, but like, maybe we do that after?
What does everyone else think?
I think the only reason we're out here is because there was nobody else to go save the grove. The council wouldn't send anybody else. They were too busy trying to defend what they had left. So if you're worried about us dying, then you're missing the point altogether, that there's nobody coming behind us. So it's either poop or get off the group.
Does that mean you'll stick around for the grove, or does that mean you're leaving?
In this deep.
All right. Elle, what do you think?
Elle's been pretty quiet. She's both trying to listen to everybody, but feeling a little overwhelmed, and also just incredibly sad that she doesn't know if she'll ever get to meet all of the kids. She's kind of been thinking about all the letters she sent to Arrow, and if they ever made it there, and she's mostly wondering what his handwriting would have looked like. You know, when you get a letter, everyone's writing is just kind of different. Like, would he have drawn pictures? Because she drew pictures for him. So she's just really, she's going through it for someone she never really would, you know, she won't get to meet now. So in a way, she's a little annoyed with all the bickering, or what she considers bickering. So, can we just get the dagger, and can we just go back to the camp?
The dagger's coming to us, so we don't need to go grab it.
Then can we just go back to the camp?
Nothing to see here.
What does everyone think?
It sounds
Out of
like
character.
Wait, how's...
What? Huh?
Is it in character?
Or, oh, sorry, like stepping out. Like, what does everyone think we should do?
It sounds like the consensus is that we should deal with the grove first. Is that what your character was saying? I was a little confused by the poop or leave the group.
I'm trying to not be too crass about it, but that worrying about us dying is completely missing the point, because there's nobody else to come up pick up this tool.
So why shouldn't she worry about it?
Because she was worried about us going off and doing something else.
Right.
It's like, well, it didn't matter if we died, because like there's no one else to come take our place if we could hand this dagger off to. If we give it back to them, or sorry, the staff, we give it back to them. They're not. They've made their bed, and just wanting to hold things off and not try and fix this.
So if we gave it to them and left and died, there's no one to come and use it because they're not going to use it.
The council's played their hand, at least in my opinion. So
Interesting.
So if we don't use it, no one's going to use it. So okay, now it's
Master might have misunderstood.
Yeah.
oh.
but I will say too that like what Apoc said, like, and I guess so. If we defeat the Grove,
Oh, I forgot this was touched.
would that then like appease Nari?
I mean, Sapphire made it sound like that wasn't the case.
Meaning possibly there's like we can
I'm-
reconcile her, we can like win her back. Type of
I'm
thing,
cool
maybe?
doing the Grove first.
We got
Out of
2
character.
jobs.
Got a character?
Agreed,
2
we got
jobs.
2 jobs.
Okay. Priority 1 is Grove. Priority 2 is
Save the girl.
Save the cheerleader.
Yeah.
You remember that song?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reference.
Yeah. Save the cheerleader, save the world. Okay.
You know that shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Sir Basil seeing. Or I guess it was meant to be very noticeable. Like you just like you're agitated. You just want to go back to camp.
Oh yeah, like Elle's having like a mini tantrum, but she's trying not to have a tantrum. You know when you're just at the end of the day, you're like, I just want to go home and I don't want to deal with what's right in front of me right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Elle is feeling right now, especially because she really feels like some of this next part is really going to be on her.
Do we notice, like, is this is visible agitation that like Elle is very much. I just walk over to Elle and I like kneel down a little bit. Elle, I might not have as much magic as you, but I cast hug. Like he says that out loud. And he just gives her a hug.
As Apoc is hugging Elle, she's just going to whisper really quietly, I'm really scared, Apoc, and I want my mom.
Oh dear.
Do we just all big hug?
We
like
won't-
just all come in.
We won't let anything happen to you.
If we're group hugging, you just hear me whisper, "Good call on not getting the mascara."
But I guess we do head back to camp. Just yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
down with that.
And by camp, are we talking the tenders? For my own clarity.
Whatever element.
So does that okay?
Chicken tenders.
Again, if we do that, we are taking the Borealis into the camp. Everyone will know that we have it, and that's fine, right? They've given us no indication that they would.
Just to help here. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Aurora.
I was gonna say, us having this is luring potential danger to us.
Correct.
I would not recommend going back to camp where the chicken tenders are. Like, I'm happy to set up a camp just to calm down and take a breather. But going back to backtrack on where we are, we're this close already. I think we should keep going.
I thought it was on the opposite side.
We're on the north end, right?
Yeah, I thought it was further.
And it was pointing north. So we're kind of heading in the direction we wanted to go, is how I read it.
So you are on the farthest north end of the grove, because the cold spot moved around and it took you by chance that far north. The
And then
Tenders encampment is on the south side, kind
Yeah.
of central.
And then the aspect was to the north beneath the earth, is what I...
But we got the aspect.
Oh. Aspect of ice.
Yeah, that was to the north.
The hot spot was to the west.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are north.
Update that.
The grove is kind of like a little wiggle.
Yeah.
The Tender camp is right here. You guys are up at the farthest north end, and the hot spot has been pinged as kind of in this area. So you're across the grove, more or less, from this thing.
Okay.
Elle, would you like a break? Okay. Mrs. Q sort of, she says, "All right, crew, buddies, humble buddies.
Buddies.
Aurora, if you wouldn't mind, perhaps a tent would be a good thing for right now. Apoc and Basil, perhaps you can help with something, I don't know, do something helpful."
Get firewood? It's all firewood.
It is all firewood, some of it is already on fire. And while that's happening, Mrs. Q goes and sort of like sits next to Elle, or like encourages her to sit down, and we'll just sort of watch you set up, and says, "You know, the first time I went into a big battle, I was really scared. And it's okay to be scared. In fact, it's good to be scared, because it means that you recognize when a big thing is a big thing and when a small thing is a small thing. But there won't be any part of this battle where you will be standing by yourself. So it's okay to be scared. You can leave room for that. But it's also okay to be brave."
She's gonna kind of take like a couple deep breaths. And is Astra sitting with them nearby? Is she nearby?
Yes, if you're all kind of starting to settle in, she would be kind of doing a little ritual of her own that you've seen her do every night. She'd be nearby.
Okay. Because Elle has a feeling that she's gonna have to try to reach out to Everin, the spirit that Sapphire mentioned, the brother.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to feel a little calmer before she does that.
Yeah. So what does Elle do for that?
I think sitting with Mrs. Q helps. And I think she'll ask her a few more things about, like, just little things, like, about her past. And, like, when you went to battle, like, did you use your knitting needles? Like, did you wear your puffer jacket? Like,
Cute.
the one more important question she'll ask is, when you went into the battle, did you know if you were gonna win?
No. In fact, I felt at one point convinced that we were going to lose.
But
But that knowledge helped me push through some of my fear of losing, because I knew that my best would be what it was, and I would just give it all until the end. And that final push completely changed the outcome of the battle, and we won. It's not over until it's over.
Right. So Elle, sitting and talking a little bit, she wants to try doing one of her meditations to see if she can reach out to Everin. And now that she has seen him before and kind of knows a bit more about him, she really wants to focus on finding him to talk to him.
Okay. So as you get into your meditative state, are you alone?
I think Elle would ask Astra to kind of sit with her, because that's what happened. That's what she did last time. And I don't think she'd want Mrs. Q too far away.
Mrs. Q will plan to before she gets up to sort of leave you to do this. She says, "Tell me something that your mum would cook you, and that's what we'll have for dinner."
Well, Mom didn't do a lot of cooking. Dad mostly did the cooking. But he would make, whenever it was my birthday, he would make this, like, chocolate pudding with, like, gummy worms in it. We called it dirt dessert, which wasn't much different because we're birds and we eat worms anyway, but these were gummy worms and chocolate.
I will make that for dinner with perhaps some side dishes. And she sort of, she's not very far. She just sort of like conjures up her hearth like a few paces away so that they can have privacy, but I can still be close by.
Okay. As you hear Mrs. Q kind of reassuringly shuffling behind you and Astra joining you at your request, a slightly more comforting presence perhaps than the first time you did this. Now that you are a little more knowledgeable about why and who and the importance of it, you feel almost this like energy as you close your eyes, and it's kind of radiating, whether that's from Astra or whether that's from the Borealis that you now carry. These waves of energy are a little more in tune to them now than you were before. And as you start to get into this meditative state, I'd like you to make a wisdom check with advantage.
I want that dessert.
I know.
It sounds good.
Have you never had worms in dirt?
Is that a real thing?
Dirt
Yeah,
dessert?
yes.
Never heard of it.
It's pudding, worms, and then like crushed up like Oreo cookies on top.
Have you?
Oh, it's so good.
It is so
man.
good.
Okay.
Next time. Worms in dirt.
This is a check. It's not a saving throw, right?
Hold on, let me consult my notes. I should have done this first. Give me a second.
I'm just more wondering what I get to add.
And we'll,
Saving throw. Wisdom saving throw.
Oh, so
Add
I get
advantage.
advantage?
Add advantage.
Okay, so I rolled a 16 and I get plus 7. So 23? Math?
Whoa!
Math?
Hold up.
16 plus 7, yep.
This little kid is focused.
You are more focused than you have ever been in your entire life. And it's almost startling how, after the difficulties of the first time trying this, it's almost startling how easy this comes to you now. How the comforting presence and that thrum of energy around you just kind of turns into a background noise as the world quiets. And when you open your eyes once more, you're back on the plains. Same as you were before. You kind of look around a little bit, and as you turn, you see a very familiar outline of a servant, a young servant. And as she turns towards you, kind of looking around just as dazed, and sees you, she like... Hey!
Hi! You will never believe what has been happening.
I probably won't. What's been happening?
So she proceeds to tell her everything that has happened in a very quick succession. And kind of ends with like, and then we met like this giant crystal lady who also has a not so great sister and like another brother, and she knows you, and just kind of like, you know what, the way kids regurgitate every little...
And then?
And then? And then? And then?
And then. So after telling this, Elle's gonna keep looking because she's looking to see if someone else is waiting, or Everett is there.
Do you tell Emrys the good and the bad?
She probably shouldn't mention the staff, but she does.
Okay.
Kind of everything they've kind of gone through since she last saw them, which would have been...
Shot.
I didn't know my audio was on.
As you are retelling the story and you get to some of the more nitty-gritty parts, you start to see Emrys's face kind of fall just a little bit as her brow kind of furrows in concern. That's pretty scary, Elle. That's big. And you need to talk to this Evrin? There's a lot of E names. Have you noticed that?
It's a ton of E names. I'm not quite sure how that worked out.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
So you need to talk to this guy?
Yeah, I think he showed up here last time, but he was a little scary and I wasn't quite sure. But now I don't think I'm as scared because I think we need to know more things so we can stop the grove.
Okay, let's look for him then.
Okay.
Let's look for him. And as you both kind of turn around and look around, you do a 360 and you're on the open savanna, the mountains behind you. And as you do a 360 and you turn back around, you kind of turn back around to go look over your shoulder and ask Emrys if she's seen anybody. And standing in Emrys's place, much closer to you than last time, you see the long, lanky figure. This one, clear, almost like the hair of sapphire, but there's almost like an opalescence or an iridescence to it, as the light in this dream almost makes it kind of shimmer. Instead of the sharp carved features of sapphire, you see almost like a smoothness to this creature. This face still odd, the nose, snout, the hairless, it's very quite strange. It still looks like it's been carved from rock. And as you're thinking and looking at this creature, the smoothness of it, you almost get like a, no, not carved, eroded. Like wind eroding the side of a mountain. This creature appears to be like bald, very pronounced forehead, very pronounced ears, a very kind of like curved jaw that just sort of melds into a neck, very broad shoulders, with a more masculine form that stands very tall in front of you. Before, kind of the same as when Sapphire moved, although very smooth, you hear that grating of rock against rock, but instead of the movements being jagged, you actually see this creature kneel in front of you and kind of hunch so that they're eye level with you. You don't see any eyelids on this creature, this like pupilless blank eye, but you see it smile, those same jagged teeth. And you hear, not rumbling this time, but just kind of a breeze that ripples through your feathers instead. Hello, Elle.
You still scare me a little bit, but I met your sister, and she said that you've been trying to talk to me.
We used to talk all the time, until I had to stop.
So that's why it stopped.
A nod. I'm sorry. I liked our chats.
I miss them. I miss having someone that I can just tell everything to. I mean, I still kind of do that. My group's pretty good, but not quite the same.
Not quite the same indeed. Hopefully we can fix this. Did you need to talk? You reached out.
Yeah, we met Sapphire, and I learned about your siblings, and I learned about your sister, who's done some not so nice things, and she says you could help us if we want to try to fix some things.
The wind kind of whips up a little bit around you. You feel it like pull at your cloak and at your hood just a little bit. As you mention, the sister who's done some not so nice things. But you do see a little bit of confusion, almost like a squinting of his eyes as you mention the name Sapphire, before it kind of nods and his expression softens just a little bit. It was dangerous for her to visit, but better she be there in person. I can do as much as I can, and I will help you. What are you intending to do? Going after Nari is no laughing matter.
I think the plan is probably gonna be number one, Scorch Grove, and well, Astro State seems to think that we might die, but then number two would be seeing if we could, I don't know. Do you think Sapphire didn't seem to think that Nari could be helped? Or, I don't know, Apoc said something really wise, but I wasn't really listening. So,
The one time.
do you think Nari could be, I don't know, sometimes when my siblings would fight, Dad would make us go into like timeouts to like just calm down. Do you think Nari just needs like a timeout, or do we have to kill her?
Straight to the point.
There's a sigh. Bless you.
Bless you.
Nari is a tragedy. She bled for hundreds of years as the earth burned, until she couldn't stand it anymore. And none of us could blame her, and we could not help her. And we were not strong enough to seal the aspect away as the gods and the spirits worked to do before. We didn't have that power. She blames the mortals for doing this. And she has done everything she can to make sure that she is strong enough to try. I don't want to say goodbye to another sibling. But I also think that Nari is responsible for Belrock being gone. And if she's willing to kill one of us, I think we have to be willing to do the same. And maybe that is her peace. To sever oneself as she's done is no easy task, especially for us. We live and die by our connection to the elements, and she has instead chosen a strange state of in-between, a disruption to the natural order. She's not supposed to be what she is. But I have not seen her in centuries. And I miss her.
Maybe if there's a way, I don't know, maybe if we're able to stop the aspect in the grove, then maybe, I don't know, maybe that might help her.
Maybe. If she's willing to see reason, maybe. She has been alone for a while, and hurting for even longer. But maybe.
We have the aspect of ice, Mrs. Q. I think she's going to be the one to wield it. But we need to know where now we can find the big fire guy. The one who's burning the Scorch Grove.
There's a look of confusion on Evren's face. Why? Why her? Not you. A genuine look of confusion on his face.
Ah, shit.
Great question.
I don't know. I'm kind of scared to use it.
Why?
I'm not so scared about it being too powerful. I'm just worried, what if I make wrong decisions when I'm wielding it? What if it does something to me? What if I become ice?
You are a child of air, not water. You won't freeze. A genuine, still that look of confusion, like you should know this, is on Evren's face. Not in a condescending way, in a duh kind of way.
It's not condescending at all.
Like, obviously.
The way you described Everett from the beginning, I am just envisioning like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, but in like a stone crystal kind of shape.
Sounds great.
That's how I'm seeing him, yeah. But like he's got the eyebrows, so I'm
Yeah,
trying
like,
to see if
huh?
like weird, like eyebrows. Oh. Does it have to be me?
Your decisions are yours. I cannot influence them, Elle. But you are destined for this. You, Evie,
So disruptive.
you and the other children are linked to us for a reason.
I don't know if you can hear it, but Sean is annoying the fuck out of us. With a
I
little,
can't hear anything.
he's squeaking a pen just loud enough that we can all hear him.
You and the other children at this table, you and the other children are linked to us. We support all of you as much as we can. You are different. But your decisions are yours. Should you choose to wield it, I will stand behind you as much as I can. Should you choose to let your party wield it, I will still be there. But you have no reason to fear it.
Will you help us get to what it is we need to fight against?
I will direct you as best I can. I am bound to the earth, same as Sapphire, you called her.
What do you call her?
Her name is Gaia.
Gaia.
As long as I stay bound to the earth, I am at my most powerful. And I can guide you to the aspect, and I can guide you to Nari. I cannot follow if you go to Nari. I cannot leave the earth. But that doesn't mean that I can't lend you strength, should you choose to go that way.
Do you think we can win?
I believe you can. But I am not an amaranthine, and I do not predict the future. I have faith instead.
Very distracting.
This link is open now, though. It should be easier to reach out if you need me.
I think I'm going to, so that is good to know.
Hone your skill. The more you reach out, the more she might notice. But the more you reach out, the more I can stay in contact. Now I think it might be time for you to get a little bit of sleep.
Okay. Last time I had to touch your hand and I left. Is that how I go back? What are the functions of this?
If you'd like to, he kind of grins and reaches out a hand. Or you can just wake up.
I was gonna like give him like a big
Yes.
high five.
And as
Imagine herself like also waking up.
And as you make contact, you actually see your arm, like, in real life, swinging down. And Astra just kind of startling a little bit as your hand smacks the ground. You're right, Mrs. Q. You hear it smack the ground behind you as well.
Someone's getting hangry.
You're right.
I was just giving him a high five, but he disappeared. He left me hanging.
Too slow.
Maybe next time. Too slow from Apoc around the corner.
Too slow.
Right. Is there anything else, just being aware of time, is there anything else that you guys would like to do as you are in this little area preparing to bed down for another long rest? If that's what you're doing. Sorry, I assumed that, but I shouldn't make assumptions.
Mrs. Q gives out the dessert. She's made she's never made this before, so in true old lady fashion, she makes way too much. Like there's like 6 liters of pudding. So yeah, I don't know if anyone's gonna get sleep with all this sugar.
I think while you do, I'm making some dessert drinks to go along with it. So like brew up. So I think for Basil, I'm gonna make like a tea. But as you drink through it, you get different notes, and it's interestingly layered. Like the first one's like of lavender, and then like some lemongrass, and it works through your sister's name.
You can just see him as he's drinking like a tear. Just like it's bringing back so many memories. Like this is amazing.
And for Mrs. Q, I make you a hot chocolate to go with the dessert, but it's got a hint of orange in it.
Oh my gosh, she's so happy. Make that
For Apoc, I made you an apple cider.
Nice.
Yeah, with some like cinnamon and some nutmeg and I don't know what else to put in.
That's perfect.
So.
hint of oily ball.
Cloves. Yeah.
Nice.
And then for Elle, it's definitely like an ice cap.
So good.
Extra foam.
Extra foam.
Yeah.
Do you
Very,
still have the
very light and breezy.
Yeah, I have the coffee.
So much caffeine and chocolate for this little
I
kid.
think either I have
You
it
were
or
having
Elle
a
has it. One
bad,
of
you
the
have a
two.
rough time. It's okay.
Yeah, I was having a bad day.
What about Astra? Water.
I'll make something for Astra
Lemon
too.
water.
I'll make something for Astra as well. But I don't need to see that.
Love it. Anything else?
While the Elle conversation was happening, I guess like before we all get together for dessert and getting ready to bed down, Apoc would have stepped out, just like off on his own, I guess getting a little bit of distance from the tent. And he's just gonna pull out the contingency bracelet and kind of look down at it and just whisper Cam's name and say, I hope you're holding in there.
Let me double check something. Do you have the contingency?
Yeah, I have it
Mine's
up right
taken
now.
Forever.
My connection to the app is like really slow.
Yeah, it's been,
Oh.
it's been a problem for me too.
Oh, weird.
It's not refreshing or
Okay.
anything.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's
Like a server thing.
yeah.
So you whisper into the band, you touch it, your band glows. Knowing how the contingency bands work, you hope and assume that Cam has received the message, but have no confirmation with the way the magic and the bands work. And after about
Nice.
a minute, your band fades.
Just gonna head back inside.
Anything else on your end, Basil?
Don't think so.
Okay. So as you all kind of curl up, bed down, take a long rest to sleep through the night and get your circadian rhythms back on track, you can go ahead and take a long rest. And as you wake up in the morning, I'd like to know where you intend to go. Where are we heading?
The fire elemental, right? To save the grove?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the intention is to go straight there. Okay.
Mm.
So as you
With
wake
the
up
assumption that this dagger is going to meet us there.
En route.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ping a sapphire.
Okay.
Safi. Safi, we're heading west, westerly. So like, if you want to just meet up with us there with the dagger once you get it, that'd be great.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Love you, girl.
Sapphire reaches back out with the message. Already dropped it off.
So cool.
Let's go.
So cool.
And as you all wake up, since you beat me and used a spell slot by one sentence, as you all wake up, Basil, you awaken and you see your dagger stuck in the ground in front of your face.
He's just and just like immediately just like blink dagger. He came back.
D&D Beyond is struggling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's having a bit of a
Can't take
struggle
Every,
fest.
everything's just crashing.
It's fine. We'll figure it out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So as
The
you
blink dagger is your boomerang, Basil.
Yeah. Maybe just for fun, he'll start just like blinking within the tent. Just like he'll toss it over there, blink. Toss it over there, blink. Yeah.
There are charges on that thing.
I was
homeboy?
gonna say, I think you might need to check
I
if
think
it's
it's.
so.
Is it or oh yeah?
It's burning all of them.
So it's burned for the day.
He was just too excited.
Yeah, well, you're like, I do that too.
Okay. He'll say he blinks twice, and then he'll stop.
Yes, an
Can you write that down?
undying, ancient, first mortal on this realm has delivered you your dagger overnight. Just for perspective.
Sapphire will remember this.
much appreciation.
So as you all have a heading, and you all gather your things, we're just gonna end the session with an adventure roll, so I can plan the next session. So who wants to make an adventure roll for us?
Yeah.
Ow.
Here's looking at you, kid.
I think it's only right.
Okay. Do I add anything to this, or it's just a straight
D20.
5.
5.
Not bad.
Or terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, set it, tee us up. What's going
Prime
on?
numbers.
So, as you all get up, throw your packs over your back, Astra reminding you, we know where the hotspot is, so on our way, and starts marching off back into the grove, going southwesternly-ish, so kind of skirting around the edge for a bit. You're walking, and as you hit around like noon, so 4 hours in, you hear, not that far away, although it's difficult to see what's going on around you with the low-lying smoke, but you hear a high-pitched scream of pain, followed by a shout, followed by a roar.
Whoa.
And we will end there.
Let's go.
Oh no!